Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Baldwin 8232 Traditional Double Cylinder Deadbolt. I've got it laid out in parts here on my desk, and I'll show it to you in parts. First of all, you're going to get two cylinders, and the lock that I have to show you is in the 003 Lifetime Polished Brass finish. Got some fingerprints on the face of that cylinder. That cleans up real nice. Here is your exterior cylinder. Two female tapped holes. Here's your interior cylinder with the faceplate removed. So your installation, and there's a link to the installation along with the template above this video, so I'm not going to beleaguer every single point of installation, but to give you the highlights, you would drill your hole per the template, and this is going to be a typical 2 1/8 inch hole. Typical 2 1/8 inch hole per the template. The back set can be either 2 3/8 or 2 3/4, and that's accomplished by taking the latch bolt, and right now it's in its 2 3/8 setting, and rotating it like this. You can see that it gets longer when you rotate it. Top of the latch bolt is always going to be in this orientation, never like this. So if it was 2 3/8, it would have to be turned over like this. If it was 2 3/4, you'd rotate it, turn it over. That's always the top. You can see that that keyhole here is just thick enough for the two tail pieces to be stacked in this fashion. Okay? And the swag, I'm not sure if the proper term would be swag for a tailpiece, but it would be for a hinge. The tailpiece has a swag in it so that it's slightly bent, so that you can get these two tailpieces to mate on top of each other and still be in perfect straight, alignment. The tailpiece, speaking of the tailpieces, will have to be cut depending on the thickness of the door. I believe the template says that if it's 2 1/4, you don't cut them at all. If it's 1 3/4, you take it to the first notch. Review the installation guide before cutting the tailpiece. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm quite sure you're going to have to trim it if it's a thinner door, and certainly if it's 1 3/8, because the tailpieces will be too long to go together. Now, so you take your outside cylinder, that's the one with the fixed faceplate. You'll put it through its rosette, its escutcheon. Nice, solid piece of brass. It'll look like that. That goes through the hole. Then you're going to take the cylinder collar assembly. I'm not sure what the instructions call this, but this portion, it'll go through the, oh, pardon me, I've made a mistake. Back up. Latch bolt goes in the door first. Always in the door first. Then, cylinder goes through the door with the rosette already attached, through the hole. You have to get it through the hole, like that. Okay. Once you have that assembly done, then this housing comes in, goes over and sandwiches the latch bolt so that it's nice, doesn't rotate, doesn't flop around. Okay? And that is going to, you'll need to line all of that up with the holes that are in you can barely see it, but the holes that are in, the holes in this, the two holes for the screws, the holes in the latch bolt itself, I'll have to line up with the holes, the female threaded tapped holes in the opposite side. Assembly goes like that. Then your inside mounting plate with the threads out have to go on next. They'll go on next, but first, insert your, I'm going to put the, well, let's see if I can do it. Yeah. There's a key. There's a notch you can see in the top there, and has to go into the keyhole that's in the cylinder. Threads out, so that it'll look like this. Snaps in, and it can't be rotated at that point. That entire assembly then goes all together like this. The tail pieces go through the keyhole that's in the latch bolt, previously indicated. At this point, I'm going to put the exterior portion down. At this point, you'll have this loose on the face of the door. you will take the two long black machine screws that are in the screw pack, run them through, tighten it down. At that point, insert the key. You'll get two of them with every lock, unless you've had the locks rekeyed. You might not get two per lock, but if it's a standard lock, you'll get two keys. Baldwin, Bow keys. Okay. And make sure the lock works nice. No binding, no difficulty throwing it back and forth. The keys can be removed in both the locked and unlocked positions. The timing of the tailpiece has to be such that it's correct. Once you know that you're good to go, faceplate, decorative cover faceplate goes on, covers those two holes, covers the two screws so no one can get to it. Then your exterior collar simply threads on, making for a very nice installation. Careful not to cross thread anything. You don't want to cross thread. I start by going backwards to get it to seat itself really nice. And once that's on the door, there we go. Look like that. Now this package of screws that I discussed will have a lot more than just the two black screws to hold the lock together. They're going to have the two long zinc screws with the security portion behind the deadbolt strike, which is here, so it would stack below the on top of that with those two long screws going into the wood stud. You're going to get four small chrome screws, brass screws if that's the color of your lock. Two for the face of this, two for the face of your latch bolt. Then at that point, you will be all set. There are two smaller machine screws in this package. That are not indicated in the instructions where to use. But it's my belief that those would go with a single cylinder deadbolt. So there's really nowhere to use them that I can see, so we'll just ignore those. If you have any questions on the Baldwin 8332 Traditional Double Cylinder Deadbolt or any other Baldwin product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.